Here we have our EXS24, and it's a sampler that allows us to import in audio and then manipulate it. So if we go here to our edit window, we can bring up this instrument editor, and what's nice is with our samples here that are in the Have Its Drum folder, we can just drop in all of our samples. So I've already selected some stuff that I thought would go well. I picked a kick that I recorded with, it had like un grelot on it, so it has kind of like a chiming high-pitched thing in the background. I've got a left and a right hat because I like the alternating hi-hat close patterns. It gives the beat a little bit more of a organic sound. And then I've also got 2 snare samples that I'm going to layer in this sampler. Okay? So here we've got a couple things going on. You're going to notice that if I click on my sampler and have it record enabled, now we have crazy stuff going on, and the reason for that is because we haven't properly assigned the samples we just loaded in. So as you can see, you've got keys here, and then you've got key ranges for what's going to trigger the notes. You've also got these bars that kind of represent where the notes are going to be triggering the samples. So if we go with our basic fundamental kind of programming scheme, we usually have our kick on C1 and our snares on D1. We're going to put them both on D1 so that it's triggering simultaneously. And then our hi-hat groove, I like F sharp, G sharp, and A sharp. And then the same thing here is you're going to want to adjust the key range, which is allowing it to trigger. If you have your whole range open, it's just going to trigger everything simultaneously. So I'm going to assign them as such. Go over to the right here. Oop. There's a couple more options. You can have the playback pitch. You can have them play in one shots, which I'm going to do because I want to keep the decay of my whole samples in place. And you can actually reverse them here. So you've got a couple options here for the playback. I got my snare that's playing both samples. I can reverse them. Pretty straightforward, pretty cool, very simple. And over here, I've got some mixer options where you can pan some things. If I wanted to maybe pan my hat a little bit to the left, that's cool, no problem. So I got some cool samples that I recorded myself at home that kind of have a really organic, real feel to them. I used about 4 microphones blended into a mono track to get that sound. As you can hear, my kick is not quite as loud as my snare, but we just bumped it up a little bit, and you can hear that ringing, that little like grelot on top of the drum kit. Gives it a kind of just a little bit of flair. And then here I've got 2 different samples. I've got just a regular snare hit, and then I layered in a really heavily compressed, snappy sound. So if we just listen to this one, that's one sample, and then if we listen to this one, oh, it's going to be really loud. Okay, so I like to layer them both in. This one gives me kind of the fat body of the snare, and the other one's going to give me that snap. Okay, so you do it to taste, and now you've got a pretty fresh sounding drum sample. Okay? Kind of sounds authentic, and it's all done from real drum sounds, so not only is it sounding good, but it's also sounding different than everybody else's sound, which is always fun. You can save the instrument. Let's just call it Have Its Drum, and then it'll be in there for later recall.